Well, it's late, but it's here, so I hope that's good enough for all y'all. We're gonna find out. It's time for the Facebook Friday Q&A. If you don't know how to submit your questions for the Facebook Friday Q&A, all you do is you go to Facebook, type in OTRSCentral in the search box. There's that Facebook fan page, as they call it, or whatever the hell. You like the page, and then when I post the status asking for your questions, you reply with your questions. Very simple stuff. All right, let's see how many of these questions I can get through. Again, as always, I get so many of these questions, I can't possibly get through all of them, and I don't really bother sorting through them because, again, there's too much of them, and I'm not going to take that much time. Mark Ariano, how much does that guy weigh? What guy? Who? What in the fuck are you talking about? Michael Williamson, should Daniel Bryan learn to play politics? He could learn to play them better. Do you think Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns will be WWE's next two top stars? Not to be a total smartass here, Michael Williamson, but I think you kind of agree with me on this one. At this point in time, we keep always looking for those next top stars, and it continuously ends up going back to the same top stars. So at this point, no, I don't, based off of WWE's history. Joshua Howell. Who is Dean Ambrose more similar to when it comes to the character? Stone Cold Steve Austin or Brian Pillman? At this point in time, I think Brian Pillman, because Brian Pillman was the loose cannon. You never knew what you were going to get with him. And while you had some of those elements with Steve Austin, Stone Cold was more of a rebel with a cause, that common man. I think Ambrose associates to me more with Pillman or Terry Funk at this point than he does Stone Cold Steve Austin. Edsel Laurel, do you miss seeing the opening video and pyro at the beginning of Raw? Yeah, I do. I mean, I don't mind that they ripped off the thing from TNA where they do the voiceover the first few minutes, but I do miss the at least pyro at the very beginning. Uh, Daniel Carlton, favorite gimmick that was so bad it was good. Uh, Drawing a blank. Um, I know once I finish recording this video, I'm going to think about it and then I'll feel stupid. So if that's the case, I will answer your question directly in the comments on this video because I can't think of it at the particular moment. Maybe I'm just recording this video too late. Dean Asiko Carroll, do you think the Ascension will get over with the crowd on Raw SmackDown on their own without a manager or being paired with some random people? I think the fans would get into them, and as a result, they could get over. But again, it's all about what the WWE wants to do, which again is what makes what Chris Jericho said so ridiculous and so just not based on reality. That WWE doesn't intentionally sabotage people; they do it all the time by de-emphasizing them, by de-pushing them, by having them lose, by taking them off of television, by having them do incredibly stupid things. No, WWE intentionally sabotages people all the time. Once you bring up the name of Zack Ryder, that ends all argument. But there are so many other names too, and they do it in so many different ways. So if Dunn or McMahon got bored with them, then they just get buried. And that's sad. It's not so much about what entertains you, Kevin Dunn. It's not so much about what entertains you, Vince McMahon. In case you forgot, it's what entertains the people. Just a crazy thought here. Alan Pesson, what will you do the Survivor Series review series? Well, I probably plan on starting it next week. We'll see how it goes. I do still have it committed to get all of the old Survivor Series reviews from 88 to 2012 done before Survivor Series 2014. If you're wondering why I'm not doing 13, that's because 13 should be on this channel still. But we are getting ready to move into a house in the next couple of weeks, and as a result, we'll see how it goes. I mean, I'll try the best I can to do them like one a day, but I'm not sure for the Survivor Series review series if it's going to quite work out that way. It could be one of those things that starting like next week, it'll start off like one a day, but then I might have to like mass record them, and as a result, you guys know when you move, getting internet set up and everything else, that could take time. So there might be a couple of days with no videos, but then all of a sudden you get bombarded with a shit ton of OTRSCentral crap. That could be the case. So I still plan on starting it sometime next week. Dylan Haggett. Why is racing considered a sport more than wrestling? In part because people don't associate racing with being predetermined, with being scripted, with being fake, like they do wrestling. That's the biggest reason why. Brandon L. Reed. How would they do the inevitable Lana face turn, and who would she send after Rusev? Why does it necessarily have to be an inevitable Lana face turn? Why couldn't Rusev be the one to turn face? I don't necessarily agree that it has to be Lana that turns face. I think you could do better down the road with Rusev as a face as opposed to Lana. And who has a better chance of winning this Sunday, my Dolphins or your Bears? I'm 50-50. Bears are at home, but that's not necessarily a good thing for them this year. The Bears are a mediocre team, and they're 1 week up, they're 1 week down. They had their up week last week, so it almost leads me to believe they'll be down. The Bears' offense is better, but Miami's defense is better. I'm not sure how well the Bears' offensive line is going to be able to contain Wake and Vernon on the outside, and that's a problem. So I could really see that going either way. I really could. David Bentz, if WWE hired you for booking pay-per-views and they also purchased TNA using the history of pay-per-view names from TNA, WCW, ECW, and WWFE, what are some of the pay-per-view names you would use for your first booking year? I wouldn't use a goddamn thing from TNA. It has zero interest or value to me. Just telling you how I see it. That's the truth. In terms of from WCW, I might use Great American Bash or Halloween Havoc or Starrcade. There are several WCW pay-per-view names that I'd be very interested in. Like I said, Great American Bash, Bash at the Beach, Halloween Havoc, Starrcade. Yeah, so there's quite a few War Games, perhaps. ECW. But maybe Barely Legal instead of Extreme Rules. Maybe. That's about the best one I could think of. December to December. Ashley Walker. If you became a wrestler, what would your two finishers be and why? A toe stomp into a nut kick or a cunt punt. I'd be like the Andy Kaufman type of intergender champion. So yeah, I think that's what it would be. It'd be a toe stomp into a cunt punt. By hook or by crook, baby. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Win if you can, lose if you must. Always cheat. Brian Belaski, what is going to be the result of the Wyatt family promos? It's coming, but what is it? Could it be Sister Abigail? No, I think they're making it quite clear that they're pushing Rowan and Harper off. It seems like Bray Wyatt is setting them free. It could be Abyss. It's coming. They're coming. They're coming. Stephen Robert Moore, I won't answer your fuck, marry, kill question because I'm not going to do it about three guys. That's just stupid. Peter Gunn, would you rather get stink faced by Nicole Bass, watch a 1 hour compilation of Mike Tenay commentating, or have Jeff Jarrett pin you 1, 2, 3? 1 hour compilation of Mike Tenay commentating, because then I can at least go to a happy place and pretend. I can never get getting stink faced by Nicole Bass out of my mind. And then I'm not putting over Jeff Jarrett. So there you go. Andy Nielsen, if there was a suck my dick match and you got to pick any wrestling personalities to be in it, who would they be? A suck my dick match. Don't let Pat Patterson book it. Me and Trish Stratus, me and Naomi, I don't know. Joshua Howell, fuck Mary Kill. Melina, Layla, Deborah, go. Fuck Melina, Mary, Layla, kill Deborah. Easy breezies. You could just tell Melina takes it in anything that's classified as an orifice. Layla seems to be a classy gal and is very sexy, so that makes her Mary. And yeah, Deborah, yeah. Nah, I'm good. Kennedy Ramirez. Who would have won the match between John Cena and Undertaker if it happened at WrestleMania? And would the WWE have tried to create a bullshit finish to protect both superstars? Even in that match, I think that would be that one match that even the WWE couldn't sit there and do that. They would have tried if Cena would have lost. They would have made some bullshit up about how he was hurt or he made one mistake, da da da. But they wouldn't want to do that too much because they wouldn't want to disrespect Taker. And they most certainly wouldn't have Taker beat Cena because of bullshit. They wouldn't have Cena beat Taker because of bullshit. You know, um, who would have won? It's the ultimate question. Who would have won? So many possibilities for a match we're never going to get. Shame on everybody involved for dropping the fucking ball on that one. Period. There was one big money match with John Cena that you could do. How in the fuck could you not do it? Everybody involved should be ashamed of themselves. Do it. Just do it. And then let's see here. Joshua Howell's a couple more. How far up Vince's ass does Kevin Dunn like his carrots? At least up to the small intestine depth. And how does Vince McMahon manage to outdo Nikki Bella at working Cena's stick? It's quite easily. He's the boss. He's worth a whole lot more. Let's see. Oh, he got another one too. Fuck it. Yeah, his questions are good, so I'm gonna keep reading them. Fuck, Mary, kill Ivory, Michelle McCool, and Dawn Marie. Oh yeah. Fuck Dawn Marie, marry Ivory, and kill Michelle McCool. Um, yeah. Ivory, fuck yeah. She looks like that type of girl that, you would like fuck the shit out of. And then, she's the type of girl, she'd sit there and eat something nasty and then fart and for some reason it would like weirdly turn you on and you want to fuck her some more. I don't know. It just seems like out of the three that even though Ivory might have her annoying tendencies, what woman or individual frankly doesn't, it seems like she would be the most realistic and down to earth to me. And yeah, I used to like Don Marie quite a bit, so I definitely want to at least get one time. Jonathan Shillow, is Mike Glennon the man for the Bucks? Yeah, he might be. I don't think he is, and frankly, at this point in time, I don't think it fucking matters because until they get the personnel to run the defense that Lovie Smith wants to run, which is the quickest path to the Bucks becoming a contender, is fitting the personnel to the scheme of the head coach and the defensive guy, it's not going to matter. Just telling you how it is. It's not going to matter. Lovey's going to win or lose based off of defense, not offense. Tampa has to go into the offseason and focus on defense. I actually thought, and I think I talked about this a little bit, even though on the one hand you kind of like their offense heavy approach to the draft, I thought it was a bit of a mistake. I really thought they should have taken Aaron Donald at number 7, and I still have that belief. And I saw some reports afterwards that Lovey really wanted Aaron Donald at number 7. That should have been the guy because him and Gerald McCoy on the inside. Oh, Brian Walmer, what are your thoughts on GFW presenting Wrestle Kingdom 9 on pay-per-view next year in America? And do you think GFW is really about just showcasing other worldwide promotions to the rest of the world? Do you think it will succeed or backfire? If it's just about Jeff Jarrett, and I still don't have any reason to believe that it's not, then it will ultimately fail. I don't really have any thoughts on this crap. I don't know. I need to see something out of GFW for them to even be worth me wasting my breath talking about, frankly. So I'm not going to anymore. Duke Morris, who wants to get out more, War Machine or Rey Mysterio? Rey Mysterio. Ethan Kennan, can you give me a shout out? My YouTube is EK Wrestling Themes. Thanks. There you go. EK Wrestling Themes. That's your shout out. That's what you get. Nick Perkins, do you think Shane Douglas could have done more in WWE if utilized correctly? Yeah, maybe a little. But I think in Shane Douglas's mind, that's just my guess. I don't know the man. When I was an employee at a Target food warehouse, I didn't sit there and try to talk to him as a Target manager and ask him about this crap or anything like that. I think he could have been more of a relevant mid-card guy. He was never going to be a main eventer in the WWE. He might have thought he could have been a huge star. He wasn't. He was just a guy. He was a piece to the puzzle. Um, but I always thought he was better in ECW when he kind of had that edge that everybody else had fucked him over and pissed him off, and screw Ric Flair. You know, he was one of those guys early on that was putting that shit out there about Flair and how much of a piece of garbage Flair could be, too, on the bad side of things. So, yeah, they could have utilized him better and gotten more out of him, but I don't think it would have gotten probably to what he thinks he could have gotten to. Alberto Torres, when do you see the Authority getting their comeuppance for everything they've done so far? I don't know. Probably around WrestleMania time, maybe. But then if they do like Triple H and The Rock, it's just so screwed up. Eric Sandberg, do you think Kane should have joined the Wyatt family back in 2013? Yeah. Why not? Wouldn't have hurt. Throw it out there. Yeah. Would have been something different to do. Brandon Acevedo, how do you feel about the potential Cena Orton main event at Hell in a Cell? What a pile of crap. And I will emphasize this and I will repeat this as I have said a few times before, I believe, that there is only one match that has any business main eventing Hell in a Cell, that should main event Hell in a Cell, has the right to main event Hell in a Cell, and it is not John Cena versus Randy Orton inside of Hell in a Cell. That is Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose. If the WWE actually main events John Cena versus Randy Orton at Hell in a Cell, then that to me just shows their sheer stupidity. Flat out. That doesn't show me that they want to bury young guys. That doesn't show me this. That doesn't show me that. The only thing it fucking shows me is that literally the WWE is fucking stupid. It's that simple. From a storyline dynamic, it makes no sense. From the fact that you know going into it that that match is going to be pooned on and crapped on to so many different fucking things, especially at a time where you're needing to get ready to turn Randy Orton face. If they main event that match, they are just stupid. Period. There are no winners, I promise you. So WWE will probably do it. I hope at the 11th hour they come to their senses and realize how stupid that would be and rightfully put Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins inside of Hell in a Cell as the real, true main event of Hell in a Cell. That's simple. Let's see here. Secondly, since Ultimate Warrior no sold God at WrestleMania, does that put him beyond God? No. Because what kingdom did Warrior go to? God's kingdom. I rest my case. God works in mysterious ways. And sometimes it takes a long time for us to understand how those pieces fit together. We try as much as we can as, people, mortals, humans, whatever term we want to use, to try and put things into a context that we can understand, and we screw it up and do what man does and fuck things up. And I say that about all religions pretty much. I got my own thoughts on a lot of that stuff, but the fact of the matter is, some of this stuff maybe isn't meant to be understood. If you believe in that higher power, how arrogant is it for you to actually think you understand or fully know what that higher power, wants? And there's so many different things. Let's see here. What else we got? I gotta hurry up and get this over with. I got other videos to do and sleep to get this weekend started. Christian Guillen, excuse me. Will you do a Survivor Series review series soon? Yes, as answered earlier. And are you pleased that Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins will go one-on-one in Hell in a Cell? Yes, if they're not opening the show. Yes, if they're not mid-carding the show. Yes, especially if they main event the show and it has a clean finish. Yes. Henry Lamas, again, I'm not going to sit there. Oh, no, never mind, because I can spin this a little bit. You said, fuck, marry, kill, IWC edition. Daniel Bryan, CM Punk, or Dolph Ziggler. So the IWC has to fuck one, marry one, and kill the other one. Wow. Now, I'm going to pose this question to the people. IWC, fuck, marry, kill. Brian Punk Ziggler, you go. And on that note, I'm ending the damn Q&A. I got other videos to record, like I said, and I want to get some damn sleep. So thanks to you guys that submitted your questions. I'll holler at you later.